Hi, I'm Charlie, and this is Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is available both as a podcast, wherever you get great podcasts, and on video on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men. So today, I'm very pleased to have as my guest, Ellen Friebert Schupper.
Hi.
Did I say that right?
You did. You did.
Okay,
Thank
I practiced.
you so much. Thank you.
I get my name butchered all the time, so I'm very sensitive to that. So Ellen is the executive director of ABCD, which is After Breast Cancer Diagnosis. It's a national organization, and she's the executive director here in Milwaukee. So we'll talk about ABCD in just a minute, but I want to start where we usually start, at the beginning. So you were born here and raised in Wisconsin.
Yes.
Okay. And then eventually you find your way to WashU. It's in St. Louis, and get your undergrad degree there and an MBA at Case Western in Cleveland. So talk about your early years and how it helped set the stage for the next phase of your life.
Okay. That's well, first of all, thank you so much for having me.
Sure.
I feel so honored to be in this chair next to you, to be in this beautiful kitchen. And so I'm born and raised in Milwaukee, and I guess I call myself a boomerang because, as you just outlined, I did grow up here. I grew up in Bayside, Wisconsin, went to Nicolay High School, and then I went to college in St. Louis. And in between St. Louis and Cleveland, I lived in Washington, D.C. for many years. So I wanted to leave Milwaukee to go to college, so I picked WashU, studied political science. And what does any political science major do after college? You go to DC, so you can try to use your degree.
Right.
So I was really happy to move out there because I have family out there. My older brother was studying at George Washington University. And it was just a great city. And I know you're from DC,
I am from
so
DC,
it's just a great city to launch a career and live in my 20s. So I was really fortunate to land an amazing first job, which was at the then Women's Legal Defense Fund, which then became the National Partnership for Women and Families. My goals were to work for an organization that did great things. I did have an interest in working in women's issues, and also I was hoping to try to tie in a healthcare element to my career. And I had to pursue something else, so that's why I went to poli-sci, went to DC. And landed this great job in the communications department, which, as you'll hear, is really the through line for my career, which has been in marketing communications, nonprofit organizations, and work that was having a true impact on people's lives.
After undergrad and then graduate school and then after graduate school, you worked in a series of leadership jobs in both in healthcare, in government, and higher education.
Yep.
So I know you're at UWM here in Milwaukee, and you also worked at Case Western.
Yeah.
And you've been in the FDA,
Yes.
Office of Women's Health, and Ketchum Public Relations, which goes back to your marketing and stuff. So talk about those experiences and how they led up to moving to ABCD.
Yeah. I've always had a passion for women's healthcare issues. Just because of something that I, as a woman and as someone who I have this interest in healthcare, I just always believe that there's ways for people to live their best lives. So I was able to work on the policy side when I was at the National Partnership for Women and Families in the FDA Office of Women's Health. I worked on a major education campaign on safe medicine use. Then my husband and I went to Cleveland, and that's where I took a little bit of a diversion. Only slightly. I worked at the Weatherhead School of Management at Case Western in their executive education program, and I was hired there to launch their healthcare executives program. Living in Cleveland and working in Cleveland, I was also able to earn my MBA, and I had interest in women's leadership, which again kind of ties into the eventual conversation around ABCD. Our jobs took us back to DC, and I had the privilege of working in the women's healthcare department at Ketchum Public Relations, where I worked with pharmaceutical companies that were having a drug that was coming up in front of the FDA panel for drug approval. And some of the clients that I worked on had breast cancer drugs, as well as menopause and osteoporosis. So I saw that side of the business.
Right.
I will say a little diversion here is when I started working at UWM in the Peck School of the Arts, because that's not healthcare, but truly what I wanted to be when I grew up was to be Elphaba on, in Wicked on Broadway stage. I never made it there, but being able to be the director of marketing at the Peck School of the Arts, that was then celebrating its 50th anniversary, was just this amazing opportunity. While I was at the Peck School, I had another son actually who'll be joining us later on for our eating experience.
Special guest taster.
Yeah, special. Yeah,
Right.
so 3 boys. So I sometimes say, I have 3 boys, I have a husband, and I have a male dog, but I work with all women, and I work in women's healthcare. So I don't know, there's something to be said there. I did then have a stint at a marketing agency here in town, where I was working on higher education clients, and I will say that I know that what motivates me every day to be this full-time working mom is to have a positive impact in the people or community in which I live and work. What happened was that LinkedIn served up this amazing opportunity for me. There was this opening for an executive director at ABCD after breast cancer diagnosis. They needed someone who had experience in nonprofit leadership, ideally someone who had a business degree. I had earned my MBA. Someone who was in healthcare, ideally someone who had women's healthcare experience.
You're checking all the boxes.
Yeah, I was checking all the boxes. And so it kept coming up, and I'm like, wait a minute, really? Am I ready for that? And so 7 years later, here I am.
All right, so in as you mentioned, 2017, you become the executive director of ABCD after breast cancer diagnosis. So talk about your work there and its meaning within our community.
Yeah. I should say that in 2013, there was a really pivotal moment in my life, which is when my father, who has his own story and impact here in Milwaukee community, Robert Friebert, but he was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer at the end of June 2013 and died in September 2013. So that was a 10-week time period. And I needed to become a caregiving daughter at a very intense time in our family's life, as my dad was going through the treatments and the fear and the concern and the overwhelming experience. That was my closest experience with a cancer patient. But I remember feeling so alone and feeling like no one understood what I was going through, feeling like while I was surrounded by so many caring friends and other family members who were asking, what can we do to help? And really, like, I had so many casseroles and people who wanted to drive my kids places and so many people who wanted to take care of us.
Right.
But no one understood what I was feeling, what I was going through. And I knew about ABCD. So ABCD is founded and grounded in Milwaukee, and it is our sole mission is to provide peer-to-peer support for people who are impacted by breast cancer. We connect people based on their specific diagnosis, treatment, and stage and age in life. And that includes not just the patient, but it also includes the caregivers. So for me, here I was, a caregiving daughter of a lung cancer patient, and I felt like, gosh, I wish I could find an organization to help me like ABCD. So flash forward 4 years, this LinkedIn thing happened, and I was very aware of ABCD because we 25 years ago, ABCD was founded here by, and here I am again, women's health, nonprofit, Milwaukee. I just knew about ABCD because it was my, part of my experience.
It's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, it's my wheelhouse, right. So ABCD, for me, having the opportunity to step into an organization that was founded by a woman named Melody Wilson Oldenburg. Melody is, anyone who's listening to this podcast, who's from Milwaukee and was around in the 70s and 80s, will know that name because she was this influential, high impact, beautiful broadcast journalist who delivered the nightly news. And in 1992, when she was diagnosed with breast cancer, she did something crazy or very unusual, but very bold, which was that she used part of her broadcast to start talking about her breast cancer diagnosis live on television in the early 90s, when you didn't talk about cancer, let alone breast cancer.
Right.
Very deliberately whispering breast. But she did. She did. And she started talking about her experience as a mom, as a wife, as a professional woman, how scared she was, how lonely she felt, the fears that she had, how difficult it was talking to her young children about the diagnosis. She wasn't talking about the medical interventions that she was experiencing. She was talking about the emotional or personal impact of a breast cancer diagnosis on her life. What ended up happening is that people started calling her from around her broadcast signal. So she would do the nightly news, and then she would come back to her news desk, and Joyce Garbasiak, who's still a well-known broadcast journalist here in Milwaukee, tells us stories of how she was on the news at the same time as Melody. They would come back to their news desk, and the phones would start ringing. And the phones would start ringing, calling Melody, two different types of people. One were people who were breast cancer survivors, who were calling with advice or counsel or stories to share about whatever it is that she just talked about on TV. The other type of person that was calling was, Melody, I was just diagnosed with breast cancer and I don't know anyone to talk to.
Right.
Can you help me? And so what ended up happening is that she left her Emmy award-winning broadcast career in 1999 to start. She left in 1998, and in 1999, on June 15th, 1999, ABCD was officially incorporated. She had gathered together healthcare providers, oncologists, social workers, physical therapists, breast cancer survivors, people living with stage 4 metastatic disease, people of all different backgrounds, races, religions, ethnicities, together to talk about what is ABCD, what could it be, what is this organization. And what evolved was this premier, first of its kind, peer-to-peer support organization that does this integrated and very specific matching between people who have breast cancer and just recently diagnosed or are facing an issue living with metastatic disease with a mentor. When Melody started the organization, it was in the late 90s, so it's important to remember where we were in the world then. When she started the organization, her vision was that no one should be alone. No one should feel alone after a breast cancer diagnosis. And her belief was that the way that you can best provide this support was by matching people who had had similar experiences. But she was extremely passionate about the fact that people who were providing support needed to be trained and vetted and learn how to provide emotional support. Starting with just a few mentors, okay. ABCD was launched. And to this day, we still have the same mentor vetting and training process. And all of our mentors go through an interview process, they're vetted, and then they go through a 10-hour training program to learn how to provide emotional support to someone else. So starting with just this handful of mentors, moving up to today, where we have trained 850 mentors across here in Milwaukee, across the state of Wisconsin, and across the country. And we've moved into a fully virtual organization where all of our services, actually then and now, are provided on the phone or in today's day via text or Zoom.
Right.
And we still have our core mission, which is matching people based on their specific diagnosis, treatment, stage, and age in life. And I should add in here that Melody led the organization for 10 years, from 1999 to 2009. And unfortunately, she did have a recurrence, and it was metastatic. And so Melody did pass away from breast cancer in November 2009. But her vision, her mission continues, and we just celebrated our 25th anniversary in June of this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So we'll have all the information down in the description box on links for the site, and there are other locations throughout the country, correct?
No.
Only in Milwaukee?
Only in
Milwaukee. But they'll match you based on your location. Oh, no, it's all virtual.
It's all virtual.
Okay.
Yeah, so we say we are location agnostic. It's one of the things that we say, because it doesn't, For us, it doesn't matter where you live unless it's important to the person who's married.
Gotcha.
So right now we have 250 mentors who are women and men, because men get breast cancer.
Sure.
People ranging in age from about 29 to 83, all different races and backgrounds and breast cancer types. So that there's about 150 different types of breast cancer diagnoses, and that includes people who are living with stage 4. And so people can call us, reach out to us from all over the planet, and we do serve about 50% of the people that we serve are from the Wisconsin area or Midwest, because that is our hub and our base. And we get information about a person, and then we have an amazing Salesforce database system where we do a matching and we align them with one of our mentors, and then we do real-time live connections.
Sure.
So people talk to each other and they're connected. Matches can last as long as they want. And I forgot to mention the F word here, which is free.
Right.
All of our services are free. Our training is free. Our services are free. Our outreach is free. Our materials are free.
All right. So we call this serious people with serious jobs having a little fun. So we're having a little fun
I like
today.
that. Yeah.
I'm going to give you an apron so you don't
Cool. Splatter on my
stuff
shirt.
all over yourself.
Yeah.
So what are we preparing today?
So as I've said, I'm a busy working mom, and during COVID, my boys and my husband were getting a little bored of the same things that I was cooking all the time, and so I started getting direct mail from really great food companies, and so we are cooking a variation on a HelloFresh recipe.
Okay.
So I think I've made 90 or so HelloFresh meals, but this is one of my favorites.
Okay.
It is Zucchini Boat Bruschetta, and it's yummy and it's healthy, and most of my kids will eat.
Most of them?
Most of them.
Will our
yeah.
special guest eat it?
He might eat the couscous. I don't know about
okay.
the zucchini.
All right, as you mentioned, we did do a little prep work. So give us a minute to set up back here, and we'll go put this together. And are you guys hungry out there?
Yeah.
All right. Gonna have a little bruschetta, whatever time it is, 10 o'clock in the morning. No problem. Did you eat breakfast? No? Light break. Okay, well, we'll fill you. All right, give us a minute. Be right back. All right, here we are back on the kitchen side. So, Ellen,
Yes.
take it away.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much for doing all the chopping and cutting. I mean, that's the hardest part. So the zucchini is in the oven and the couscous is on the stove and it's cooking and looks delicious. Yum, smells good too. So we're really just making the topping that's going to go in the bowl. So all the tomatoes are cut up so nicely, perfectly. Look a lot nicer than mine usually.
So we got about 2.5 diced Roma tomatoes.
Okay, so we put that all in. See, there. And we're going to put in all the, again, nicely chopped garlic.
That's about 3 garlic cloves that are...
Oh, it smells good. Okay, and then we're going to kind of start mixing it. And then I'm going to put in half of the parmesan because we're going to, so I'll just eyeball it. So that's about it.
So that's probably about close to a little more between a half and 3/4 of a cup of parm.
So mixing that up, and then we are going to, we're going to do some salt and pepper to taste. So this is the
That's
pepper.
black pepper. Yeah.
Black pepper.
All right. And always do it to taste, because you can't tell people how much salt to put into a... And that's my sister's Italian seasoning.
What do you think about that much?
I'm Italian, so keep going.
Okay, they're good.
All right, good.
All right, and then we'll put some salt in. We'll do a couple.
All right, so we got a little salt coming in.
That look? Yeah, I think so.
There we go. Okay.
All right, and then we will,
Some
just.
crushed red pepper. Is that going
Oh
on?
yeah. Thank you. Some pepper, some more
Got a little
Yep.
pepperoncino.
Yep. And then we'll mix it all up here. This is where.
So this is the topping that we're going to put on
the
zucchini boats.
Right.
Okay.
All right, and then, then we can set this aside, and we have this balsamic glaze for when the boats are put together.
Okay. All right, so we need to get the zucchini boats out, which we're going to do right now. Stuff them with couscous and then put the mozzarella on top.
Correct.
And broil them for a couple minutes. All right.
Correct.
We'll be back in just 1 minute. All right, so we've got our couscous.
Yes, and it's Israeli couscous, which is just so yummy.
Israeli couscous, which are not really couscous.
Oh.
It's pasta.
Oh, well, there we go. All right, so these are the beautiful roasted zucchini?
Yeah, roasted, yeah. We seeded them and made a little boat out of it and put a little seasoning, mostly Italian seasoning. So we're going to fill the zucchini boats with the Israeli couscous. And the reason they're called Israeli couscous is because when Israel was first a nation back in their 1950s or late 40s, early 50s, they had a lot of refugees, people coming in that they needed to feed. And they came up with what is called Israeli couscous, but it's actually extruded pasta, made of semolina pasta and water. And so that's where the Israeli comes from. So they're similar to couscous, but they're actually pasta.
Wow. Now, I'm not as neat of a cook as I feel like you might be, Charlie. So you can see I'm spilling a little bit. And
this is where we edit anything.
Oh my gosh, you can edit out the spill? Okay.
Well, I'm not that good.
All right. Well, all right. I am kind of I guess.
No, we're putting that. The cheese is gonna. I mean, if you make the cheese on there and don't spill any, I will give you everything in my wallet.
Wow. All right. So I think we're good. I think we're kind of. I think that's good.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so we filled up the couscous.
Yep.
And then we're gonna top with some. You can use your hands if you want.
Thank you. I'd like to use my hands because this is a little. All right.
Nobody cares about your hands.
I wash my hands. All right. So here we go. Yeah, just meant to be like.
Oh, you spilled some, so I don't have to pay you.
Oh, there we go.
All right, so this is gonna go into a broiler for a couple of minutes, and then after that, then we take the tomatoes and put that on top, and then the rest of the couscous will go on as the base to set the zucchini boats on.
Yep, and then we put on the balsamic glaze too.
Okay. All right. Looks
good.
All right. Into the broiler these go.
All right. Here we go.
All right. I'd say for my friend Alexa to set a timer for 2 minutes, but we'll just eyeball them. So we'll be back in just a minute. All right. So there we are.
There we are. Beautiful.
They look great, Ellen.
All right, so we're going to, first we're going to put a little olive oil into our
the tomatoes.
Tomatoes, and just to give it a little more flavor. All right, so then we're going to take our first zucchini, put it there, and then we're going to put some of the lovely tomato. See, I spilled. Well,
So I don't owe you any money now.
All right, so there's the tomatoes, and then we're going to take some of our glaze, and we're going to do a little zoop here.
All right.
Okay. Then we're going to put some more, but we're going to...
Couscous.
Yes, of course. Well, we're going to put the couscous on, but then we're going to put some of the cheese on it again, too.
All right.
And then some more mozzarella. Mozzarella.
Okay.
Put some mozzarella on. We'll put some parmesan. And
this is why it's adapted from HelloFresh.
Yes, definitely adapted. So
all right.
There we go, and here's our beautiful plate.
That is delicious. All right, so we're feeding the crew today. So give us a minute. I'll set up. And we have a special guest taster. You about ready, special guest taster?
Yes.
All right, good. All right, give us a minute. Be right back. All right, we're back. So, Ellen.
Yes.
Tell us what we got here.
We have zucchini boats with tomato and garlic and couscous in what we are calling our zucchini boat bruschetta.
Bruschetta. And here's our special guest taster, Gabriel. Gabriel, thanks for coming by and hanging out with us. So Gabriel's going to eat what he says he's never had before.
Even though he has had it, because I've made it for dinner, Gabriel. So.
I think he's, So, all right. Let's give it a taste and see how we did. Alrighty.
Yum. All right.
We got a little mozzarella on top.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, Gabriel, you gotta swallow.
I think that's Gabriel's way of saying he liked it.
Okay, wow. Okay, put Gabriel on.
Either the food is very funny.
Okay.
What school do you go to? What school does he go to? They're both laughing.
Gabriel is going to be a 7th grader at Milwaukee Jewish Day School.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sending this to them
Wow.
so they can include it in their newsletter.
Yeah. Okay, Gabriel, take a deep breath.
No, appreciate you coming by. Go. Now eat.
Do you want to tell you how it was?
I think it's the first time we've had a guest choke.
Okay, good. Like choke on his food and choke in his comments.
The texture was very good.
Good texture. Okay.
Thank you, Gabriel.
All right, Gabriel, you need to come a little closer to me. I took a shower. Come on, get over here. I like that.
Can we redo it?
Well, we can edit anything, but I'm not editing this at one little teeny bit. That's
So
too
what do you
good.
think?
That's delicious.
Yeah, it's
The
so
balsamic glaze is an interesting touch. On top, I tasted the cheeses, especially the parm, and the couscous, just work. It's a nice combination of everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I can taste the garlic.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it's
Ellen,
really
come
healthy
towards me.
too.
I can't see you there.
Oh, huh. Sorry. Here I
That's
am. And it's really healthy too. So.
That's
yeah.
one of the things we were talking about. As a breast cancer survivor, you want to be eating very healthily.
Well,
that's a word.
yeah. But anyone going through treatment, or anyone who's lived with the disease, I mean, eating healthy is critical to anyone's health, and so this is just a really healthy vegetarian option. And what I also sometimes do when I have like these this kind of a dinner, if I want to add a side or protein, I'll make some chicken, or I'll make some turkey meatballs or something like that.
Couscous is a very good touch.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Look at that. Food reviewer. Go start writing for the Jewish Day School newspaper, critiquing the lunch.
That's right. Yes. Well, yeah. So it's so this was so much fun and so good. And now I don't have to feed Gabriel another meal today, right, Gabriel? Yeah.
Get over here. All right. So, Ellen, before you take another bite,
Yeah.
thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you so much. This was
Appreciate
so
it.
much fun, and
It
thank
was.
you so much for doing what you do, and raising awareness about the great work that happens in our community. So.
And Gabriel, I know you just took a bite, but thanks for coming by. Thanks for being a taste tester. Put you on the spot there, and you did just fine. Now eat it all. All right. So, thanks so much for taking the time to watch. Please like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for supporting Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Get in the picture. All right. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is brought to you by Cooking Secrets for Men, LLC, and was recorded in the 3rd Ward in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We feature and profile community leaders who are trying to make Milwaukee a better place. The tagline is, serious people with serious jobs having a little fun. Our guests choose the recipes that we use on the show. All of our podcasts are available on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get great podcasts. The original YouTube video for this episode is available on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men, all rights reserved. Thanks, and see you next time on Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders.